Here's the video for the spreadsheet example. This will not be the exact same spreadsheet that you will make for your project, but learning how to make a simple spreadsheet like that will teach you how to make a more complicated one like the one that you will make. You are going to make this exact same one with me in order to get some practice. But before you make your own, let's see how this one works. So here I have a simple spreadsheet to help us calculate the cost to, say, buying a house. So what I'm going to have is 4 columns, and 2 of these columns will be the input columns. And by input, I mean these are the 2 columns where I'm going to put in a number. These 2 columns, I am not going to put in a number. These 2 columns, the calculator will calculate it for me. The computer will calculate these for me. So I have 2 input columns and 2 calculate columns. So let's see how this works. Let's just say I buy a house, a tiny house that is 10 inches in length and 9 inches in width. Once I do that, the computer will calculate the area for me in square inches and then the cost. And this cost right here is based on the fact that this person is charging $5 per or for every square inch. So let's go through and calculate this ourselves. So if I have a house that is 10 inches in length and 9 inches in width, then the area will be the length times the width, which is 10 times 9, 90 square inches. And if every square inch is $5, the way I get the cost is that I need to then multiply the 90 times 5, and I'll get to 450. Great. This whole spreadsheet works exactly like that. So if I put in different numbers, I'll get different numbers here. The computer will automatically calculate this for me. So, how do we make a spreadsheet that works like this? How do we make the computer calculate things for us? You're going to now make one with me that's going to work exactly like that. In order to make a spreadsheet like that, you're going to have to go log on to your Gmail, go to your Google Drive, and press New Google Sheets. I'm going to assume that you have your Google Sheet up and running. Once you have that, you're going to make a chart that is 1, 2, 3, 4 columns and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. Go ahead and make that with me. You're going to highlight that area. Once you have that, you can then put some borders to make it more visible. In order to make borders, you can go up here to borders and you can add all borders. Then you're going to make the headings a little bit different of a color by highlighting the heading, going over here to fill color, which is different than text color. Go to fill color and just add some gray or something. Once you have that, then you can start labeling these headings: length, width, area, and cost. To make this look a little bit nicer, I'm going to highlight all of this, and I'm going to go over here to horizontal alignment, and I am going to press the center to make all of these words in the center of the box. Also, I am going to bold these letters to make it look nicer. Great. Now, we have said that this is going to be the length column, this is the width column, this is the area column, and this is the cost column. So let's try typing in some numbers. 10 inches in length, 9 inches in width. And boom, nothing happens. Because we haven't told the computer what to do here. In these calculate columns, you need to tell the computer what to calculate. So let's delete these numbers and let's go here. You're going to have to tell the computer to multiply this column by this column in order to get this column. Or in other words, this box times this box to get to this box. So in order to tell the computer to do that, I need to get into here by double clicking it until I see this cursor blink. I'm going to tell the computer to multiply this box with this box. But notice when I clicked on this box, then it just jumped there, and when I clicked on this box, it just jumped there. Nothing has happened. So what I need to do is I actually need to press equal, then the computer will know, okay, I'm about to press on some boxes and I need to calculate it. So then I can click on this box and you can see it has shown B11 for that box, and you will type times, which is not X. You need to type in the star symbol, which is Shift 8. So this box times the second box, which is this one, and then you need to get out of here and say, okay, that's all I need you to do. And you might be tempted to press outside, and notice what happens. If you press outside, you have changed which box the computer is going to multiply. So let's bring it back to here and see how we can get out of here. In order to say, okay, that's all I need you to do, you're going to finish this by pressing enter. And there you go. Once you have pressed enter, you have gotten the computer to know every time I have a number here and I have a number here, I need to multiply it to get an answer here in this box. So let's try that. 10 in the width, 9 in the length, and voila, you have 90 square inches for the area. But look, nothing has happened in the cost yet, because again, we haven't told the computer to do anything. Well, what do we have to tell the computer to do? Knowing that it is 90 square inches and it is $5 per square inch. Well, if it's $5 for every square inch and I have 90 square inches, then I need to tell the computer to take this 90 and multiply it by 5. So I need to get into this box and say equal to, and I can either type in 90 times 5, or a better way to do it is actually to tell it to take instead this box times 5. And we'll see why in a sec. And if I press enter now and tell the computer, okay, that's all I need you to do, notice that you get the same answer as above, 450. So in this spreadsheet that we've seen, no matter where you type in the numbers here, you will always get the calculations done for you. Let's see if this is true. So let's go to the length and press another number, 40 inches in length and 15 inches in width. Nothing happens. I go over here, 30 inches in length and 20 inches in length. Nothing happens. Why? Well, it turns out that you haven't given the computer any instructions here, nor here, or here, or here. You need to go in and type in what you want the computer to do. So you need to type in equals to this times this. Enter. Then it'll calculate for you. Then you need to type in equals to this times $5 per square inch. Then it'll do the calculations for you. However, this is a big however, there is a much easier way to do this. The way that you do this is you can click on this, and because you have already given the computer some command, and the command will be the same for this one and this one and this one, right? It's just length times width, and it's always going to be length times width. You can just tell the computer to repeat it. So to repeat it, you can click on it, and there's that square down here that you can press, and you can drag to the bottom. And what that does is it tells the computer, and I can click on this, do length times width. Do exactly what this box is doing, but down here. Do exactly what this box is doing, but down here. And then do whatever this box is doing, but down here. So I can do the same thing for the costs. All I have to do is press on the cost, and when I see that box right here, that tiny box right here, I can click and drag all the way down, and now I have the instructions given down here. So let's try it for that last box and see if it works. 10 inches in length and 5 inches in width. And voila, you have the area and the cost calculated for you. The last step that you need to know for the spreadsheet that you will make is this box right here, which I didn't show. Total cost. So if I have here 4 different costs for 4 different houses, and in your case 4 different rooms, you will have to add all of these up in order to get to the total cost. So I can do this. I can click on this and tell the computer whatever's here, add it to here, and add it to here, add it to here. I can say this, I can say equals to this plus this plus this plus this equals to, and by equals to I say enter. Great. So now every time I change these numbers, so say this is 50 and this is 10, every time I change these numbers, say this is 100 and 675, every time I change this, this will change accordingly by adding these different numbers here. However, and here's another however, there's an easier way to do this. And I can click on this and I can clear all of these instructions and do it all over again by telling the computer to do something called sum. And for sum, what that means is sum is the adding of, right? You're adding things together. So when I press on sum, it'll have an area for me to click on. So what I can do is I can click on this and I can drag and highlight and tell the computer add all of these, sum all of these together for me. And then I can just close off the box or close off the parentheses and press enter. And you can see the answer is exactly the same, but here instead of pressing 4 boxes, I just tell the computer sum all of these. Now there's only 4 boxes here, but when you have a spreadsheet that is really long, and if, for example, if you want to sum all of these, then it becomes a lot easier to say sum and just highlight all of these. You can do it either way, and as long as it's working, it'll be fine. But here is an example of a working spreadsheet. So take what you have learned here and apply it to the one that we have done. The only things that are different is you, for your spreadsheet, needs to know how to square, and to square, you need to press this button. That button is Shift 6. So if you want to say 5, if you want to say this box is equal to 5 squared, then you can press 5. That button, that means to the power of 2, which means 5 squared. And you will see if I press enter, that gives me 25. But if you instead need to say this box is equal to this box squared, then you can do the same thing. That'll give me 450 squared, which will give me that. Well, good luck.